After paying for my husband's master's degree, I found out he had secretly enrolled his girlfriend as his study partner, and they were living together during his semester abroad. When I confronted him, he smirked and said, "This was never about you." I sent every university email and photo to his school's ethics board, watching him get expelled 2 weeks before graduation. My name's Dana. I'm 39. I live just outside Raleigh, North Carolina. I've been a registered nurse for over 15 years. I've worked night shifts, weekends, holidays. I've helped deliver babies and held hands as people died. I've seen real pain. Real sacrifice. So maybe that's why I didn't notice when the man I married started lying to my face, because I thought we were in it together. His name was Mark. We met through a mutual friend at a cookout in Durham. He was funny and sharp, said all the right things. He was trying to finish school and needed help getting his life on track. I was already stable, working full-time. He said he wanted more, wanted to be someone. I respected that. When he said he wanted to go back to school full-time and finish his bachelor's, I said okay. I picked up extra shifts to cover his bills. When he said he wanted to go straight into a master's program in international business, I didn't hesitate. I supported him completely. I covered everything. Tuition, rent, groceries, you name it. He worked a part-time job here and there, but most of the pressure was on me. And I didn't complain, not once. He'd say things like, "Once I graduate, everything will be different." Or, "We'll finally have the life we deserve." And I believed him. Then came the semester abroad. He applied to a program in Berlin. It was competitive, expensive, but he got in. I cried when he got the acceptance letter. I remember that night so clearly. We were sitting on the porch. He held my hand and said, "This is all because of you." We agreed he'd go for 6 months. I'd stay back, keep working, keep things running. I drained one of my savings accounts to cover his travel and housing expenses. It was a lot, but I told myself it was worth it. We were building something. Or at least, that's what I thought. At first, everything seemed normal. He messaged me every couple of days. Told me about his classes, the weather, how hard German was. But slowly, he started pulling away. Messages became short. Calls got less frequent. He'd blame the time difference or stress. I tried not to push. I figured he was just overwhelmed. Then one night, around 2 a.m., I got a message request on Instagram from a woman named Chloe. I almost ignored it, thought it was spam. But then I saw the photo. It was Mark. He was standing behind her in a kitchen, arms around her waist, smiling like a man without a care in the world. She was holding a coffee mug, wearing a sweatshirt I recognized. It used to be mine. That's when I knew something was really wrong. I messaged her, "Who are you?" She replied quickly. "I just found out he's married." "I'm sorry. I thought you should know." I couldn't believe it. I asked for proof. She sent everything, more pictures, texts, even screenshots from their shared study folder. He called her his study partner. She even had a copy of the document he submitted to the university, where he claimed she was his housing partner and academic collaborator for the semester. It felt like I was drowning. I called him immediately. He answered on the 3rd try. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I just asked, "Are you living with her?" He didn't even deny it. He just looked off to the side and said, "It's complicated." I said, "I've been paying for all of this. You used me." And then he said the words that turned my stomach inside out, "This was never about you." He smirked. Like it was all a joke. Like he was proud of what he did. I hung up. Then I sat in silence for a long time. I couldn't sleep. Couldn't think straight. But by morning, I knew exactly what I had to do. I pulled up every email, every bank statement, every tuition receipt. I organized everything, years of documents. Then I added the evidence Chloe gave me. Photos, screenshots, the document he submitted with her name listed as his study partner even though she wasn't enrolled. I spent 3 nights putting together a report. I printed it all out and scanned it into a single PDF file. I sent it to the university's academic ethics board. It took weeks before I heard anything back. But when I did, it was from a woman named Dr. Klein. She thanked me for my report. Said it was under review. She was calm, but I could tell she was disturbed by what I sent. A month later, just 2 weeks before his graduation, I got the final email. He had been expelled. Multiple academic violations. Fraud. Unauthorized housing arrangements. Misuse of university funds. I read the email 3 times. I felt a strange kind of peace. Not happiness. Not even satisfaction. Just balance. Like I finally got some of my dignity back. He tried calling after. He left one voicemail. "You ruined everything," he said. But I didn't ruin anything. I just told the truth. I thought that would be the end of it. He got expelled. I stopped taking his calls. Blocked him on everything. I even started talking to a divorce lawyer. I thought maybe now, I could finally start to move on. But Mark wasn't done. 2 days after I got that email from the university, I came home from a shift and found my front door wide open. Nothing looked stolen, but drawers were pulled out. My mail had been dumped on the kitchen floor. The bathroom mirror was cracked. Just one long, jagged line right through the middle. I stood there for a minute, frozen. Then I called the cops. They came, looked around, said there was no forced entry. Said maybe I forgot to lock up. I didn't argue, but I knew better. I always lock my door. I live alone. I don't make mistakes like that. I didn't tell the cops about Mark, but I knew it was him. That night, I stayed at a friend's house. I barely slept. I kept replaying everything, his voice, that smug look when he said, "This was never about you." The way he looked so calm while my world was burning. The next morning, I called the lawyer. Told her to file the divorce papers immediately. 3 days later, Mark showed up at my job. I was on break when I saw him through the window of the hospital cafeteria. He looked rough, scruffy, pale, like he hadn't slept in days. I walked straight outside to avoid a scene. He followed me out. "Dana, wait," he said. I turned. "You need to leave. Now." He took a step closer. "I lost everything because of you." "No," I said. "You lost everything because of you." He looked like he was going to cry. Then his face twisted into something uglier. "You think this makes you better than me?" "I don't think anything about you anymore," I said. "You're a stranger." He didn't say another word. Just walked away. But I saw it in his eyes, he hated me now. Not for what I did, but because he couldn't control me anymore. After that, I changed the locks. Got cameras installed. Told my boss everything, just in case he came back. I didn't feel safe anymore. Not in my home, not in my own town. Then Chloe messaged me again. "I thought you should know," she wrote. "Mark's been blaming me too. He told people I was the one who got him expelled." I stared at my phone. She kept going. "He's been telling our mutual friends I tricked him. Said I stole his work. That I sabotaged his thesis." I wanted to scream. He wasn't just bitter, he was rewriting the whole story. "He tried to meet me last week," she said. "I didn't go. He's not okay." I thanked her for telling me. Then I asked a question that had been sitting in my chest for weeks. "Did he ever say how long he planned this?" She replied, "He told me you were just his financial backup. That he didn't want to be tied down after graduation. He said Berlin was a test run for a new life." I put the phone down. My hands were shaking. A new life. He never planned to come back to me at all. After Chloe told me what Mark said, that I was just his financial backup, I felt something snap inside me. This wasn't just a dumb guy cheating during a semester abroad. This was a plan. A long game. And I was the one funding it the whole time. So I started digging. I pulled out old receipts, credit card statements, emails, anything I could find that might show me what else he'd been hiding. And that's when I noticed something I had missed before. He had opened a separate checking account 6 months before he left for Berlin. I only found out because one of our joint bills bounced. I called the utility company, thinking it was a mistake. They told me Mark had removed his name from the account before he even left the country. My stomach dropped. I called the bank. Asked about the new account. They wouldn't give me details, but the manager said it was opened under his name only. And had consistent international wire transfers going into it. Thousands of dollars. Monthly. I realized what he'd done. While I was paying his tuition, his rent, everything, he was pocketing his student grants and any extra scholarship funds and sending them to a hidden account. He was stashing cash the whole time. Money I could have used to pay off my own debt. Money I worked for. And then I remembered something Chloe told me in passing. He said once he graduated, we might move to Prague or Lisbon. He didn't want to come back to the US. That's when it hit me. Mark had been planning to leave everything behind. Me. This town. His name. He was building a new life in Europe, with my money. He just didn't plan on getting caught before the diploma. I called my lawyer again. Told her I wanted to amend the divorce filing to include financial misconduct. She said if he was diverting funds meant for the marriage, you might be able to sue him separately in civil court. But we'd need proof. I started collecting everything. I subpoenaed the financial records. I printed every scholarship deposit, every dollar that came into our joint account that mysteriously disappeared. I built another dossier. But that's not even the worst part. A week later, I got a call from an unknown number. I answered. It was Mark's mother. She was crying. I'm sorry to call you, she said. I know what he did. But I thought you should know, he's not here anymore. What do you mean? I asked. He left. Packed up everything. Said he was going back to Berlin to try to fix things. Fix what? I asked, already knowing the answer. He said he had someone waiting for him. A job, maybe. I don't know. He didn't say much. But I found this. She emailed me a PDF. It was a scanned letter, handwritten by Mark. In it, he blamed me, Chloe, the university, everyone but himself. He talked about how he felt trapped in small-town life, how he never asked to be rescued, and how he deserved more. The last line? I'm starting fresh. Nobody's going to stop me this time. He was gone. For real. Continue up to the ending. Ending must be very dramatic, vengeful endings who made mistakes, including OP if applicable, use simple words final update, he thought he could vanish and start over. I made sure his new life never started. When I found out Mark had left the country, something inside me went cold. He was actually trying to escape. No consequences. No debt. No accountability. Just vanish into Europe and live off the money I gave him, the fake career he built, and whatever trust he managed to squeeze from people who didn't know the truth. I wasn't going to let that happen. I gave everything to this man, my time, my money, my loyalty. And in return, he used me like a stepping stone. He built a life on my back, and when he thought he didn't need me anymore, he dropped me. So I did the one thing I hadn't done yet. I went public. I took everything, the receipts, the photos, the emails, the university's expulsion letter, and I put it all in a Google Drive folder. I wrote a detailed summary. I kept it professional. No cursing, no slander. Just facts. Then I shared it anonymously to the alumni pages of his old schools, the expat forums he used to post on, the Berlin housing group where he first found the apartment with Chloe. Anywhere he might try to start over, I posted it. It spread fast. A week later, someone messaged me on Facebook. A woman named Rita. She said Mark had shown up at a networking event in Berlin, claiming he had graduated with honors from an American MBA program. She sent me a video. It was him, standing in front of a group of people, confidently pitching himself as an international business consultant. Smiling. Lying. I sent her the link to the folder. She didn't reply for 2 days. Then she messaged again, he's been banned from the networking group. Thank you. I kept going. I reported him to the State Department for visa fraud. See, when you travel for academic reasons, your visa is tied to your student status. But Mark had been expelled before his semester officially ended. That made his presence in Germany illegal. I filed a report with proof of expulsion. 2 weeks later, his mother called again. He was detained, she said, barely able to speak. They revoked his visa. He's being sent back. I didn't say anything. She added, he's blaming you for everything. I finally said, good. He came back to the States with no degree, no job, no money, and a huge legal mess waiting for him. The divorce finalized 2 months later. I sued him in civil court for financial misconduct and won. The judge ordered him to repay $62,000 over the next 10 years. He tried to fight it, but I had too much proof. Last I heard, he was living in a studio apartment in a bad part of town, working part-time at a storage facility. No Europe. No business degree. No fresh start. And Chloe? She sent me one last message too. I feel like such an idiot, she wrote. I really thought he was different. I'm sorry for my part in it. I told her the truth. We were both lied to. You just got out earlier. And me? I rebuilt. It took time, but I'm okay now. Better, even. Stronger. Wiser. Still working long shifts, still dealing with real pain, but now I know what not to carry with me. Mark taught me that. I gave him everything. And in the end, I took it all back. He thought I was just the woman who paid the bills. He forgot I was also the woman who kept the receipts.